All right, guys. So now that we went over our first task, now we're going to go over our second task. Okay, and our second task is how is reading important? So I want you to think about in your mind why reading is important. Why should we read? And is it really that important for us to be reading? So I want you to take out your note and your pencil. Remember the materials that you needed? And I want you to write down why reading is important. So go ahead and stop the video and go ahead and write it down. Give you a couple of seconds. Stop the video and write it down. Awesome. Now that I know that you wrote it down, why reading was important, I'm going to share why reading is important to me. Reading is important. Sorry. Reading is important because we understand new stories, we can learn new things, and we can have fun together. So we're going to read today we're going to read the book called The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. Okay, the main character on here, her name is Angelina. Okay, remember the expectations when we're reading a book as a class or when we're reading a book independently. So make sure that you're looking at the text. In this case, you're going to be looking at the computer the whole time. You're sitting in one spot and the whole time you're listening to the story and you're thinking about what it's saying, okay? And also you're going to respond to some questions, okay? So make sure that you're looking at the screen, you're sitting in one spot, and you're listening the whole time to the story. So we're going to read it together and then you're going to read it independently. Now, I know that we're virtual, you don't have the book physically, so we're going to read it together, okay? You can go back and read it yourself, but we are going to read it together, okay? And if we're in class, we would read the book, and then you would talk to your partner about what is it you saw, or what is it you learned, or what is it you know about the story, okay? So some of the questions that you need to be thinking when you're reading the story, okay? So make sure you're visualizing that in your mind. So even when you read in whole class or when you're reading independently, that means that you're reading it by yourself, okay? Questions you need to be thinking about. What is happening? What do you see in the pictures? And what do you notice, right? So those are the things that you need to be asking yourself when you're reading a book independently. Not just independently, but when you're reading a book as a whole class. So when we read, we must listen to the words and create pictures in our mind to go with the words, okay? So those are the main things that you need to be doing when you're reading independently or when you're reading as a whole. So again, you need to be asking yourself those questions, okay? So in the next video, we're going to read the book together, okay? So I want you to make sure that you're visualizing what is happening in the story. All right, I'll see you in the next video.